I believe that a key component is functional analysis of the behaviour, looking at where does it occur, down to minute detail, not just in the lounge, but sometimes for some kids with sensory processing and visual, it's down to the detail. It happens there. Why does it happen there and not there? Because the way I process things visually, that line is like a cavern, and it's like the edge of the cliff. I can't get over it. And you're saying, come on, we're going shopping. No, I don't want to go. So I hit you. Well, I'm not going shopping. If you did, thank God I didn't want to cross that line. Does that make sense? And that's why we have to look at the detail when we're looking. We have to look at what lights are on. We have to look at what smells are around in the environment. So it's more than just, oh, we're in the lounge. When does it happen? Down to the time. Who's there? The people we don't notice. And when the cleaner comes, we don't even notice because he comes every Wednesday. And then when you start to look, well, he's there and he's outside and he's part of the problem. He's the trigger for the behaviour every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And we haven't noticed. Keep in detail. And I notice it's in some of your leaflets, looking at the antecedents. What happens before? What is the behaviour you're looking at? What's the consequences of that behaviour? I'm going to move on because I want to talk about one thing. I believe a lot of behaviour difficulties come from the sensory difficulties that people with autism have. I spent this morning watching wonderful children moving around there and noticing the sensory processing difficulties, how they process other people, the fear of other people, how they process through peripheral vision rather than contain so much information that overwhelms you. And understanding the sensory gives you that clue of how to manage the behaviour, how to understand the behaviour. I was asking someone, how many of the children get help with proprioceptive? How many of your children get in occupational therapy, working on the car? Yeah, 1 or 2. Every child I've seen walking around needs help with that type of thing. That affects behaviour. If you don't know where you are, if you don't know who you are physically, that's going to affect your behaviour, isn't it? If I don't know where I am, don't panic. I'm going to be on top, not on top, but very close to this lady. Yeah. Because if I don't know where I am, how do I know where she is? And so working on the sensory. If you experience the world differently, you behave differently. Just looking around you, a weird lot. Yeah. Some of you's got coats on. 1 or 2 just got enough clothes on to be decent. Somebody's got a scarf on. Somebody's got a woolen thing on. Why are you all dressed differently in the same environment? You're getting the same information in. It's the same temperature throughout this room. Some of you must be wrong and deviant. And you say, of course not. But why are you behaving differently then? Why are you all dressed more or less the same? Because you all process the environment differently, therefore you behave differently. That is true for, I guess, most of your children. And that's why I would say, from what I've seen today, sensory assessments are so important. How does your child experience the world? He comes into a room like this, and if he gets too hot, he can't manage that. He can't subtly take a layer off. Don't know about some of your children. Does the old lot come off sometimes for some of you? Yeah. Is he wrong? Is he being sexual? No, he's responding to an environment that he can't manage. But you manage it. It's suddenly cold. Freezing. Everybody else is okay. What's he doing? Run out of the room. Because there's no other way of managing that. And that's where sensory profiles are so key to managing behaviour. And sensory profiles that actually tell us what to do about that. Sensory plans, just like we have behaviour plans. You might say, well, he's got to get used to the world. This is how it is. You don't get used to the world unless someone facilitates it for you and manages it. Is there any things that you can't manage sensory-wise? Is there any noises that really, really get to you? Any smells that make you feel really uncomfortable? And if people say, well, get used to it, say, I can't. I can't be in this environment with that sensory input. And sometimes with people we've having to manage the environments, to minimise that, or to put strategies in to manage. If you can't stand to be in the world because of the way it smells, we find the smell that you like. Put it on an handkerchief, stuff it in your pocket. When you're about to run, nice smell, blocks out the rest, I can now stay. Does that make sense? I put dark glasses on, I put Irene lenses on, I put orange glasses on. I can now walk down the street because I can process the street. When you're talking to people, I recognise that you use peripheral vision. So you know what? I never stand there. I always stand at 45 degrees to you. When I present work in class, I never put it there, I put it there. Because you're a peripheral learner. You overpower me and scare me if I'm in front of you. I can't process that information. Hypersaturation of the brain. Doesn't that make sense? We've thrown some things at you. I'm going to finish because they, you probably want to go on. What I've tried to say, and we haven't covered everything, is that when we're looking at behaviours, they're never simple. And therefore the way we work with them is never simple. It's never about just the behaviour that's presenting at that moment. It's about a whole lot of things about how the child sees the world, how they make sense of the world, how they process sensory information. And it's about us. And the one thing I know we can change is us. I can change the way I stand in relation. I can change the words I use. And therefore I'm an agent for change for my child or for the children I'm working with. That's something I can do something about. Very often you must feel powerless that, they haven't got the right kind of education, maybe you can't change the education system. But you can change some things. And the first thing we change is us. And we change. And you know what? People change with us. Have you noticed? Notice with your partners? Anybody been married a long time? In a relationship a long time? Remember the early days? The war between you. And what's checked? Is your partner still the same person? Yeah. But you've both made little changes to make the world a better place for both of you. You've both learned to adapt. And sometimes I don't want to watch. I bet it's being video. I better be honest, I don't watch reality TV, but occasionally I do. Because you want to adapt for the person you love and care about. And behaviour is a management. Part of it is adapting for that person, helping them make the change. People do change when we change. Thank you very much.